from Travelers Rest State Park. We're back today with another interview with one of our friends at the park, Bucky the beaver. We started seeing this fellow a few times already this spring and are so looking forward to talking with him today. And here he is actually. Hi Bucky, how are you today?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's so good to see you. And thank you for letting us chat with you a little bit today. We'll just get started. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Great. So, what have been your main activities while you're staying at home at your lodge?
Well, there's always lots to do at the beaver pond, so I've been dragging sticks around, building up my dams, building up my lodge, and just keeping things in good working order. I've got 2 brand new kits in there this year, so I really gotta keep on top of things.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's a very exciting. Congratulations. And so do you hang out with just your kits? Do you have other beavers around you, or do you prefer to really do most of your work alone?
I don't like to be alone at all. I always have my beaver family around. So right now there's me and my wife, and we've got the yearlings from last year, and we've got some 2-year-olds that are still sticking around. They haven't really found their own colony yet, so they're still hanging out at the colony too, but they're helping out, building the lodges, building dams, and all that good stuff. And then of course those 2 brand new kits, and they're just so adorable, but of course a lot of work.
Oh, I'm sure. I can only imagine. Do you mostly have just your family around you? Do you have other friends, non-beavers, that hang out with you and your crew?
I've got lots of friends in the beaver colony. That's one of the best things about being a beaver, is that our building dams and building lodges and cutting down trees creates a lot of really great habitat for other species. So we get to hang out with otters, we get to hang out with muskrats, we get to hang out with great blue herons, shorebirds, ducks. Ducks are really good friends of us beavers. And so it's me and my family hanging out in the beaver world. We don't really let a lot of other beavers into the colony because they might try to mess with all of our stuff. But we do have lots of other friends around because we create such great riparian and wetland and street habitat.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Is that your favorite part of being a beaver, or is there something else you really like? And actually, what's the hardest part of being a beaver too?
I think my favorite part of being a beaver is just hanging out in riparian areas and getting to see all the other little critters around, having nice, cool, clean waters to swim in. And, riparian areas are just some of the most productive and biodiverse places in all of Montana. So being able to hang out there and see all the other creatures around is really my favorite thing about being a beaver. The worst thing about being a beaver is just all the work that's involved. I mean, we are constantly rebuilding our dams, working on our lodges, digging tunnels, digging channels, cutting down trees. It's just nonstop work maintaining this nice colony we have. So, that's the worst part about being a beaver, but that's just being a beaver. That's just how it is.
It's just part of the job, right?
You bet.
All right. But so I've never totally understood this part of the job. So why do you chew trees and cut them down?
Us beavers are herbivores, meaning we only eat plant material. And so what we do is we cut down these trees, and then we're going after the layer that's right underneath the bark. So this hard stuff you see out here is the bark. Right under there is a delicious little layer called the cambium layer, and that has the most nutrition. And so we'll cut down those trees, we'll eat that cambium layer, and then we'll use all these little pieces to build our dams, build our lodges, and food caches so we can survive over winter.
That makes a lot of sense. And are you ever afraid of being crushed by a tree?
I don't worry about it too much. I have heard several tales of other beavers getting crushed by trees, but it's a pretty rare event. We mostly know what we're doing when we're cutting down trees. It's a big part of our job.
All right, so then what are you afraid of?
Well, my biggest fear in life is mountain lions. Mountain lions really like to eat beavers. Sometimes they'll be cruising through our colony, and if we're out cutting down a tree and we're away from the water, and a mountain lion gets near us, we're pretty slow on land and pretty quick on water. So we'll try to waddle away as quick as we can, but mountain lions are real quick. They're real fast. Also, coyotes, foxes, bears, wolves, all those sorts of things will go after beavers because we're pretty small, but we're real dense and we have a lot of fat. So nutritious as well, just like a candy layer.
Got it. So you turned around and I got a good look at your tail, and I'm just wondering if you can tell us more about it, because that is quite the specimen you have there.
You mean this?
I do mean that.
So the beaver's tail is kind of our most prominent feature. It's real important for us. So the main thing I use it for is for swimming. So when I'm swimming, I'll be flipping that thing back and forth, and I basically use it as a rudder. so that I can maneuver through the water real quick, escape predators, get into my lodges, get into my tunnels, and those sorts of things. Its tail is actually really, really important for warning my other family members about approaching threats. So if I see a mountain lion out in the woods, what I'll do is I'll take this tail and I'll smack it on the water real hard. And that big thunderous clap on the water is what will warn all of my other beaver mates that there's something to be aware of around that they need to look at. And then finally, I really use this tail as a fat storage device. So winters are pretty tough for beavers. You know, we're still active underneath the ice all year. We don't hibernate or anything. So during the fall, we'll store up a bunch of fat in our tails, and then we'll use that throughout the year, throughout the winter, as we're waiting for spring and waiting for the spring thaw so we can get out and start eating plants again, eating wood.
Oh, got it. So it's all sorts of things at once for you.
Yeah, it's a multi-tool. It's a Swiss Army knife of the beaver.
Wow, that's so cool. And I had no idea about that. And I'm wondering, what's another fact that people just don't know about you?
Well, I think people don't really realize how many of us there used to be. There's about, I'd say, gosh, I've been counting for a few years. I'd say there's about 10 million beavers in North America right now. Before human expansion, there was something like 100 to 300 million of us. So in every stream that wasn't too steep and had woody plants around, like aspens, cottonwoods, and willows, there were beavers. So almost all of the streams, all the tributary streams, all the big rivers, all were just choked with beavers back in the day. And Travelers Rest State Park was one of those places where beavers were really, really abundant, and fortunately, we're coming back now.
Wow, okay. So if I came 300 years ago, I might have seen a ton of you. But even now today, I might be able to meet you in person?
So we're mostly out in the really early morning or really late in the day. So sometimes it's pretty tough to see us. We do most of our best work at night, and that's to escape predators and just not as easily be seen. So if you do want to meet a beaver, the best time to be out is really, really early in the morning or really, really late in the day. And you're going to want to be nice and quiet, and you're going to want to stay low, like maybe hide behind a stick, like so. And then you can just peek out and look around. And if you know where the lodge is, you'll probably see us come out of the lodge right when dusk starts, right when the sun gets below the horizon and things start to get a little bit dark. That's our favorite time to come out. But if you do see a beaver and you want to meet one, just make sure you keep your distance. Because if you get too close and I spot you, I'm going to smack my tail on the water, and then all of us are going to disappear, and then we have to spend that time waiting for you and your friends to go away when we could be spending that time cutting down more trees, building up our lodges, and taking care of our kids. So we certainly don't mind having people around and having people appreciate all of our good work, but please do keep your distance.
All right, great. That makes sense. And as you said that, I'm conscious that we're in the middle of the day right now, so you're missing out on some pretty key sleeping time. So I'll let you go unless you have anything else you wanted to share with us.
I don't. Just, support your local beavers, keep an eye on them, and just help everyone appreciate the good work we do out on the streams and rivers. Sometimes it looks a little destructive. We understand that, but these systems that we're in, these streams and these rivers, they're real dynamic. They're moving around all the time. Trees are falling down. Trees are getting caught in log jams, and we're just a part of that process. So I guess just keep an appreciation for the beavers, and thank you for your time.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Bucky. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great rest of your, day, and then an even better night of work ahead of you. So thank you. As always, to our viewers, thank you as well. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and we'll get Bucky's answers back to you. And be sure to keep an eye on this page for additional interviews. Thank you so much from Travelers Rest State Park.